Good YouTubing, dear friends, and welcome to episode 4 of Bottles and Books, aka Cellars and Libraries. I'm Fatgeta, and here are your bottles and books. Okay, today we are starting off, actually, it's a sad day, because we are going to be killing this bottle of Kilchoman. Yeah, so funny story about this little bottle. I originally got into Kilchoman because I tried one of their samples of their sort of flagship bottle, the Mahir Bay, through J.R.R, and I loved it. It was funny because there were so many reviews on J.R.R.'s website that were poorly rating the Kilchoman Mahir Bay because they were very clearly people that had no idea what an Islay whiskey is supposed to taste like. Kilchoman is an Islay whiskey company, by the way. And they were like,
"Oh, it's too smoky. It smells like smoke and tastes like a campfire." And
all these other things. And I was like, alright, that sounds amazing. So I tried it, and sure enough, it was fantastic. Now, the bottle we have here is actually the 2009 vintage, and I got this by mistake, which was a happy mistake because I went out, I love the Mahir Bay so much that I went out to buy it at a liquor store, and I went there and it was listed for the proper price, which was, I don't know, around $60, something like that. And so I picked it up, I went to the register, and they rang it up, and they're like,
"Okay, $100, please."
And I'm like, no. So after a lot of back and forth, we found that they had not put a space on the shelf for the 2009 vintage in terms of pricing, although it was in their SKU, and it was put with all the Mahir Bay bottles because the boxes are almost absolutely identical. So Kilchoman has different colored boxes for their different bottlings. For example, the Southern one, which we reviewed earlier, came in kind of like a goldish colored box. The port bottling, I believe, comes in kind of a red box. And this one comes in the same exact blue color box that the Mahir Bay comes in. So when somebody was doing stock, I guess they weren't paying attention, and they just took all the 2009 vintage bottles and put them on the same shelf as the Mahir Bay and didn't even have a price for the vintage. So the store was like, you can take the Mahir Bay, or we'll just we'll honor the price that you saw it for, and we'll give you this bottle for $60. So I basically got $40 off a $100 bottle, which is awesome, always nice. And this is obviously a little bit rarer, a little bit older, a little bit more matured than the Mahir Bay. The Mahir Bay is fantastic, by the way. Don't let that knock you. If you see it around, pick it up, and if you like Islas, I guarantee you'll love it. But this is the 2009 vintage. So let's see here. One thing I love about Kilchoman is that they do not color their whiskeys, no chill filtering or anything like that. So you can see a nice, just golden honey color there. I don't know if you can see it there, but apparently a fruit fly decided to get drunk and stayed in there. So I'm just happy that it didn't disintegrate or anything, and maybe it added a little character to the whiskey.
Some protein.
But anyway, the nose of this is lemon, citrus, and butterscotch, with soft peaty aromas in the background. The softness, I assume, comes from just it having aged a little bit longer, so becoming a little bit more subdued and relaxed. The palate says soft sweetness first, and peat smoke and ripe fruit notes following, and then the finish, long, clean, and sweet with peat smoke and soft fruits at the end. That's for sure. I mean, I don't know how soft I would consider the peat aroma to be, because no, it is more mild than I remember. Definitely more mild than like a Lefroy or something in the softness, but not in the complexity. This is an amazing whiskey, as you can see. I enjoyed it thoroughly. Yeah, a little bit of honey in there. I'm smelling it right out of the bottle. All right. Let's see if we can extricate the fly from the... Okay. Success. There he is. In his drunken tomb. Okay, so look at that. Perfect pour from the last bits of the bottle. That's nice. That's, it is definitely relaxed for an Isla and for, I think, even a Kilchoman, but in a nice way. Yeah, definitely some fruity stuff in there. That butterscotch is there. I'm trying to put my finger on the fruit. Definitely lemon in there, but not the sort of like pungent explosion of citrus, more sort of kind of lemon that you might find in a lemon square or something like that. Soft. Do almost smell a little bit, like a little hint of kind of a sherry or vanilla. Oh, that's nice. So I'm drinking it, it tastes way more like an Isla than it smells. Definitely get that smoke. Got a little bit of that medicinal taste that Laphroaig has, which is nice. I like it. I'm not turned off by it at all. Also, mind you that this is the death of the bottle, so it's had a chance to open up quite a bit, if not even too much, which is probably how that fly got in there. But this is a really good drink. Getting a little bit of more of that fruitiness, almost even like a very subtle hint of strawberries. It's nice, long, smooth finish. A little bit of a hint of honey to it. It's nice. Let's see what the percentage is on this. I forgot. Okay. It's 46%. I'm sure the box had more to say. Okay, so it pays off to be a hoarder. I found the box. So this is what I'm talking about. Kilchoman has different colors for their different bottles. This is the Sauternes cask finish that we did in episode 1, I believe. Bringing it back. This is the box for the 2009 vintage. And like I said, if you look at the box for the Mahir Bay, or if you find it online, or if you just go to the store, this is the exact same color. Okay, so this is interesting and a little exciting. Established in 2005, Kilchoman is one of the smallest distilleries in Scotland. Based on a farm on the rugged west coast of Islay, Kilchoman was the first distillery to be built on the island for 125 years. So that means it is new in comparison to everything else there, which is pretty cool. I mean, just for them to have been open so shortly, 2005, and already putting out such a high caliber whiskey that really is just picking up around the world. I mean, you go to Japan, a lot of places in Europe, and their bars are definitely packing Kilchoman, which is cool. You know, it's a young distillery, but they definitely deserve all the hype that they're getting because everything they're putting out is awesome. Kilchoman displays all that is great about the grassroots traditions of Scotch whiskey distilling and truly is Islay's farm distillery, from barley to bottle. This is the first 8-year-old general release and has been matured in a combination of Oloroso sherry butts and bourbon barrels. That's where the sherry comes from. My nose and my palate are growing, all growing up. Yeah, so that's basically all it has to say, other than the nose and palate and finish and everything that we went over already. But awesome bottle. If you can find this one, definitely pick it up. I really liked it, as you can see. I try to reserve a lot of my whiskeys and keep them for rainy days and stuff, but this one was just so good. It ended up going really fast. Now that we've drank, let's read. So today, as you can see, we have the Silmarillion by J.R.R. Tolkien. Now, I know it's probably kind of cliche to do a Tolkien book as a book recommendation, but this is definitely far less known to the general public as opposed to, you know, Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit, these kind of things that have already had, you know, large theatrical releases and their adaptations and this sort of thing. But the Silmarillion is actually one of my favorite books by Tolkien because it's more nerdy in the sense that it delves deep, but deep from the beginning into the lore of Lord of the Rings and Hobbit and just kind of Middle Earth and all of that stuff. So it goes basically from the creation. It starts off with a creation story. So that's really cool, really interesting. You kind of get a you really see where Tolkien pulls a lot of his stuff from. The whole book is just so absolutely dense with the myths and legends and everything that comprise the worlds in which the rest of his books are written. And if you enjoy Lord of the Rings and Hobbit and anything else you've read by him, and if you have not read this, I definitely recommend it. It will take you longer. It took me longer anyway. Maybe you're better at reading than I am, which you probably are, but I really enjoyed this. It was a fun read, but a hard one. I mean, the content's not difficult, it's just very dense. It's not just a quick page turner, let's put it that way. It's, in a lot of senses, it's like reading a history book, which is one of the things that makes it so cool. You're really going through all of the history and everything that leads up to the worlds that are expounded upon in Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit, but you basically get all of the background info. So anything you're ever wondering about Saruman, you know, all these characters that have so much mystery about them in the Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit, you really get some much deeper insight into them through this book, and I love it. I absolutely recommend it. It's just it's packed, and I can't wait. I got a couple more of his books for Christmas that I've just not even gotten to yet because all the other books I have on my shelf that I've lined up to read, and I have that disease where you keep on buying books when you still have 50 you haven't read yet. So it's not a good disease for my wallet, but what I'm saying. But yeah, I definitely recommend this book. As through most of my book recommendations, I don't want to tell you too much about it. I don't like spoiling anything. It's not a book synopsis or anything like that. I just point out books to you that you may have not read and recommend them because I like them. Yep, so on that note, Kilchoman 2009 vintage, J.R.R. Tolkien. This is Fatgeta with Bottles and Books, your favorite way to day drink. Na zdrowie.